Get out there. We're on page Tafshin Ayin Aleph. Let me find it. Where is it? Here it is. Tafshin Ayin Aleph. No, not Ayin Aleph, just Shin Aleph. We got to this phrase that we're working on, which is on the previous blot, which is Tafresh Sadi Tes. It says Vav is patach ba'achra. That's a very mysterious phrase, and so he's been going over it. We got over to these ideas here down at the bottom, and I wanted to see if we could finish this. I don't know if we can. So he says like this, Reba ZOHAR, look at the ZOHAR. Shabir lefi darko le'el, that explains the vavi law hu b'bechinis gulgolta. Now, I'm thinking that we've seen this, not the first time we've seen the word gulgolta. So, I'm sorry? I'm in the middle of this year.
Tony says he didn't receive the money. I want to know where the check.
Okay. We'll work on that. Okay, I'm sorry, Rebbe. Reba ZOHAR, he says Shabir lefi darko. He says that vav ilah, this is the original vav in the Molach, or let's say the Gogolta of Erich Anpin, is the concept of the vav is the concept of the Gogolta. I don't know why vav goes with that. The Gogolta of Erich Anpin, shenimshach v'mena bechinas sa'aros, that come out of the Gogolta of Erich Anpin, as we know, hairs, besod vavim, and they look like vavim. So that's how it's tied to, I guess, to the Gogolta. The Zeb Bir Kansa now explains like this in the ZOHAR. Vav Gogolta, vav, the vav, I'm going to say the vav of the Gogolta. Let's say, Ispatach Ba'achma. It opens up somewhere else. Meir Ma'oro, it shines from its light. Besod the peh, in the secret of the mouth. So what does the mouth have to do with the vav? Va'asad lehis lav shecha b'malko meshicha, and this same vav, which is, it's ma, is going to be clothed inside of the Malcha Mashiach. Down at the bottom there's a little lamed test, so maybe we have to work. I don't know how much time we have, so maybe we have to work on this a little bit. He says, Reba ZOHAR Kia, he says, Echavadah, Ki Havaya de Yudin. Now he says, I said it was the Vaya because it's a Vav. I said it's a Ma. He says like this, the Avaya de Yudin Shabaresha Kadmor, which is in the Gugolta of Erich Anpin, Nignas Bepad de Erich Anpin, that name, Yudke Vavke, which we understand is spelled as Av, also runs down the face of Erich Anpin, around the back of the head of Erich Anpin. It's also inside of Erich Anpin. Nignas Bepad de Erich Anpin, and it's revealed in the mouth of Erich Anpin. For also his love Shecha B'malcha, and it's destined to be closed in the Malka Mashiach. So it's not the Ma, it's the Av. Very, very powerful Vav. That Vav, as what he's saying, is that Vav carries the Av. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's go on. Let's say a little bit more. After Lamed Tes, it says, Cholich the doide de mesharim. It goes to my beloved in a straight line. The Yisod de Ima. Now, this is my first question. How does the Yod, we're in the Gogolta of Erich Anpin, and we are working with the letter Vav. What does it have to do with the Yisod of Ima? Shesham bepeh heim he gevuros, because there in the mouth, there are 5 gevuros. Those 5 gevuros, what is it about the mouth? The mouth has the 5 gevuros in it. What are the 5 gevuros? Matzapach. Hanikroim mesharim, which are called, I'm going to translate it as straighteners. They're gevuros. They straighten things out. They get everything going in a line. So he says, V'gon zuch b'yisod ima, and they're hidden in the yisod of ima. Once again, we have a little note down the bottom. It says, Reba ZOHAR Chodosh. He said, and Avizel the Shana b'tekuni b'toch devaro. Inun matzapach. Lispakol asfan the ikri me sharm. No other letters could be called the straighteners. Bar Elin, only these ones. So what's it tell some pshat in this? Ganuzim b'yisod ima. This is the difficult part. they're hidden in the Yesod of Ima. Now, what does Ima have to do with this? Vehein heim sa'aras mavuos. What are they? They're some kind of hairs, like these lines, right? That they're channels. Mavuos mayim rabim shalholchim. Let's see if we can get this done, and I can maybe. So we're almost out of time. Now so that comes down to the Yesod of the Bina in the form of the Butzina de Cardenusa. What's the Butzina de Cardenusa? It's getting better. The Butzina de Cardenusa. What is Butzina de Cardenusa? I think it's the Gevura of Atik, which is the original impulse of Gevura. Haganas b'moy de Ima, but it winds up being hidden in the womb of Ima B'vor Be'etz Chaim, that's over there, Sharapach. Barichos, they get into it, Vizer Anpin, Mekabelas, Heichle Habina, it is able to receive these palaces of Bina, V'sosem Pischoha, and it winds up closing up her opening. So maybe next Friday we'll get back to it again. I have a little bit more to do. Let's look at number Mem Aleph. Now down below here we have Mem Aleph in detail. He said, Begenises he Gevuras Mansipach. When we're talking about the fact that they're hidden, and he said they're hidden the Yesod of Ima Shuhu B'peh. Now how did the Yesod of Ima get into the mouth? Well, the mouth of Erich Anpin, we're talking about the Malchus, I guess you would call it the Malchus Peh. We'd be talking about the very bottom part of the spheros of the Gogalta of Erich Anpin is in the mouth. Be'etz Chaim. Now think for a second. What does Malchus and Bina have to do with each other? Because it has to go through this Vav that we've been talking about, and as a result of that, wind up inside of the Vav. And the Vav eventually takes that down to Malchus, takes it down to the mouth. So that's the transmission of how it is that you have all of this Mansipach is going to wind up in the Chosim, or I'm jumping ahead, is going to wind up in the mouth of Erich Anpin. The Zel Lashon of Adillah, Hey Gevuros, Heim, there are 5 Gevuros. L'kenegdam and L'kenegdam, Yesh Heim L'tzolas Apeh. So these 5 Gevuros have the ability to form things, what Gevuros do, they create. V'heim Garon V'chek, and he goes through the different places that these affect. V'komo shehem he ozius mansapach shehem he gevuros kenoid. So this is, he's saying that the mansapach is like the initiator. It's a catalyst in some way. V'zecher she'amber b'tikunis u'tikunis ki he motzal sepen nikro petuchi choisim. They're called the openers of the seal of Ima. Elul, the upper Ima. Now, which Ima we're talking about? We're talking about the Ima of the Gogalta of Erich Anpin. There is actually 5 different kinds of dots that will qualify to be the openers of the seal. And those 5, heim neged motzos apeh, they correspond, or they're able to promote the motzos apeh. Shehem petuchim v'niftachim ayidei ima law, that they open up and before ima locha nikra chosim. Shehu sod yesod sheba, which is where is her chosim located? That's the transfer. That's the interface part. And where is that actually? It's ima. Ima's inside of this vav that we've been talking about, and this vav ultimately is going to be mashpia all the shefa into the mouth. Hanikra chosim, which is the chosim. Let's play things stop. Kenoidiki sham nechtamem mitztairim. Call atzirurim. So every word that you're going to say is formed in the mouth. Umikoach he gevuros shebechosim, because there's 5 gevuros over there, the law. Niftachu elo he motzo, and they're able to open up the 5 motzos of bad. Gam nizbar v'zecha b'masha amar. So we have also in this what it says like this, and we're finishing now. Thanks for your patience. He says b'zohar b'pashas mishpatim das ganus b'puma de malko Ki he gevurah shel das nigzuch bepeh besod he mod sosapeh kanal ad kan ein sham dada. Let's see if I can turn this off. That really gives us something into deep. And this is Baruch Fleischman. You've been listening to the back end of our shir on today is the 5th day, the month of Elul. This is the back end shir. SIFRA, that's Tzniut.